Yeah, I was about to say before
minutes.
that, I'll let the yapping months outside.
Okay.
Let me go ahead and matter of fact, let me do that right now. Come on, let's go. Everybody.
Hey, humans. Hey, Gavin. What's up? Oh, let me get my comments up here so I'll miss you guys.
Oh yeah, you know what? I gotta see. You viewing the comments through this stream or you viewing them through Facebook?
Huh?
Yes. I said you viewing them through this stream or you viewing them through Facebook?
No, I'm viewing them on the stream. I'm
All right.
seeing them now. Nothing pop up. I see like 5 people showed up already. So, can you see them?
So man, I mean my comments blank. I don't see
Oh, that's because
anybody
no one.
either.
Yeah, I don't see anybody yet.
Hold on, let me do this real quick. Um,
All right, y'all. We're gonna start in a few minutes. Just give me a minute to share this around. Hey, Art. What's up, bro? How you
okay, yeah, okay, I see yours.
doing? Yep. I'll just
Okay, yeah, so I can see it. All right, so we can do that. Actually, I'm about to close them outside the door. Cause I'm about to hear them barking all night.
Sorry, that's like my favorite dogs. Hey, Juan, what's going on? Stephen, what's
Jump,
going on?
jump, tricky. Get out. Nope, get out my house. No, don't go the other way. Get out my house. Get, jump.
Love
I'm
them
gonna take you
dogs. I
outside.
swear I do.
Get.
Hey, Vanny, what's going on? All right, y'all. Remember to like this video if you could. Please share the podcast around. This is going to be a very touchy subject. So if you are going to get in your feelings, you might not want to watch this podcast. Well, this special podcast. So I'm gonna tell you guys a little story of why me and Flint is doing this podcast. Okay, so I've been talking to a lot of wrestlers, a lot of fans, more so in particular, a lot of wrestlers in the industry, about their experiences so far throughout their career, and also and my personal experiences as well. And I basically just said that when we really break it down, whether you're a black male or you're a black female, it kind of it's telling me that something is amiss in the wrestling industry, and this goes all the way back until like when wrestling first started. And when I look at the ethnicities, like when you see white people, Hispanics, Puerto Ricans, black people, it's like black people is like in the end of the teleport. And it's like maybe it's just me, but it just seems like black people are not getting the love that they're supposed to get, in today's professional wrestling. We're gonna really break it down because I don't want people to think that black people needs to be treated like a charity case, or that sort. It's just I just really feel that if you are working hard like your white counterparts or whatever, I feel that you should get equal opportunity to become a multi-time champion, like um like Brock Lesnar or Charlotte Flair or Triple H or Edge or whatever. It's like when you see them and then you see the black folks that really have, like, the Shelton Benjamins, the MVPs or whatever, when you see them, and then when you put Edge and Triple H together side by side, you put these, these two groups together, it's like, what the fuck? Like, what the hell? So that is why we're going to talk about this a little bit more in depth. And if you guys, if any wrestlers that's out there, if you guys want to come on, you are more than welcome to. I talked to a couple of wrestlers today, and they was hitting me up, on the DM, and they was wondering if could they come on the podcast. They are more than welcome to do that. Also, I talked to Skrilla. Skrilla is currently traveling right now, so we might do a part 2, but just like part 1, we're gonna really talk about this, and I really want you to have an open mind when we're talking about this. I don't want you guys thinking that, we're just here just to bash white people or whatever. This is not that type of podcast. It's just a concern that we've been having, and it needs to be addressed. So that's how I feel. Flint, do you have anything that you want to?
I don't know. I'm gonna be like I'm gonna try and make this as bipartisan as I possibly can. And this is just from the outside looking in and doing a little bit of research. Like I said, it's definitely a subject that needs to be talked about. We're gonna discuss it, and who knows, you might be surprised in my opinion. So
yeah. Also, we're gonna bring some of you guys on too, the viewers. If you guys have anything that you would like to share, you will probably have you'll have a couple minutes to talk about it. I think this is going to be a very extended podcast, so I feel that we might be clocking about an hour, might be even more than that. So let's go ahead and start. All right, and we'll see you guys in a little bit.
Yep.
Hold up, hashtag heels for life. Wanna welcome everybody, yeah, we gotta get it hype. Hey, every week talking wrestling, we get into it. Current events, even guests that we're interviewing. Hosted by Chris, Kid USA, and Nappy Boy. Shout out to Ziggy, put the smack down, you can't ignore. The best you gon' find anywhere online. Tell the competition they about to get clothesline. Hold up, hashtag heels for life. Let's go.
Welcome to Hashtag Heels for Life Wrestling Podcast episode. Well, this is not an episode. This is a special episode of Do you think that Black wrestlers in the wrestling industry are unappreciated? I'm your host, Mr. TEAMBRINGIT. This is my special guest, Mr. Flint Stone. He is also a wrestling fan like myself. Also, we want to remember those that were lost on September 11th, 2001. Today has just been really just a dark day for me. Anytime this date comes around, it's just, even 20 years later, it's just been, still can't get them images out of my head. But I wanted to do this podcast because we really need to talk about this subject. I think this is a very this is a subject that we don't like to talk about because a lot of us is uncomfortable. I'm not uncomfortable because I'm a Black man that has went through a lot of racism in my life. But the one thing that I'm not going to tolerate is racism in wrestling that's supposed to be for everybody. So let's kind of get into it. I have been noticing a lot of lack of love in the wrestling industry when it comes to Black folks that's wrestling or whatever. It's kind of making me a little bit angry, not a little bit, but very angry. Like Flint said before we came on the program, we're going to try to be bipartisan. Try to, but I'm not going to try to be fully because I think this is all about us. This is supposed to be about us, and we just need to get this out here. And hopefully that this podcast will open up some eyes. So, Flint, what's on your birds?
Let me ask you this: do you think it's an actual? And I'm being bipartisan here when I say this. Do you believe that it could even be a lack of skill? Let's per se, or character development. Being, I want to get that out the way first, because if you look at it, and this is my thing, it seems like all minority characters play the same damn character. You see what I'm saying?
Include Hispanics?
No, not the Hispanics. And the reason why I say not the Hispanics, because the Hispanics have went ahead and created their own type of wrestling, which is lucha. Regardless if you
Facts.
mask or unmask, they have their own generational thing in
That's
lucha.
facts.
We don't. You know what I'm
That's
saying? We
facts.
don't. So I think it comes to character development, because if you think about it, name me one black wrestler that wasn't either a thug or a bully. You see what I'm saying? Name me one.
Can't. I can't. I really can't.
Like, think
I mean,
about it. Even when Big E came in, he was the big bully muscle. I mean, it's either that. You got three. You got the big bully. You got shucking and jiving, or the clown. You see what I'm saying? Or you got the thug. It's them are your three. And I think until we get off of that, you know what, Vinny might be right. Coffee maybe. Oh, I'm sorry, Kevin might be right. Coffee maybe the only one, but I do believe there was a point in time when Coffee first came on the scene, and he was what was it, Randy Orton he was going up against, where he destroyed the NASCAR. I think he was the thug in that scenario.
But at the same time, I will say this: Randy Orton was the bully in that situation. So that part, I think that's a bad example, because like that part, that's when Kofi Kingston really started coming into his own.
Right.
I think let's kind of talk about his New Day gimmick.
Right. Mm-hmm.
This is the part where black folks is the shucking and jiving, the clown, blah 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 blah.
Our truth.
Yeah, and it seems like the comical, like shucking and jiving shit, is starting to really be more evident in WWE more than anything. Because I mean, we could talk about Bobby Lashley, and Mark Henry or whatever, but then at the same time, this is their mean streak. But then at the same time, this is the same company as well. Not trying to blast the WWE, but this is the same company that did not allow the New Day that we see right here before what happened with Ferguson. You know, the riot in Ferguson. Yeah. They were supposed to be the new Nation of Domination, but they said that, oh, our white viewers is upset, so we're gonna downgrade them to another stereotype. We're going to turn them into a choir.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember when they came, and I was like, dude, what is this choir? Like, come on, really? But I just remember seeing that, like, man. And it's like everything that I think that's where our issue is, including Ron Simmons. Yeah, same thing. He was.
Oh, Ron Simmons came in as a Black Panther.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But you know what? I actually like that, because what it was supposed to do was it was supposed to give us a voice, I guess. I mean, that's what the Nation of Domination was all about. And this was around when the Attitude Era, when the PG and the the Golden Age was transitioning to the Attitude Era. Yeah. So that I welcomed. I really did. Now, the people that they put in was very questionable, because some of them that were in the Nation Domination wasn't black, but
but still, that's
there. Jaquez, he said that Mark Henry had sex with Mae Young, and they gave birth to a hen. That type of shit. Now they easily could have made Mark Henry a monster heel.
I mean, they did later. in his career they did.
But at the same time, I think this was too late in my eyes, because you knew that Mark Henry could have been a monster heel. I mean, this is basically storytelling. This is choreographed. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can easily take a character and make it gold if we really wanted to. But in the WWE, they have priorities. It seems like it's all about the white hope, and it's not about the black power. So I think that's what that is.
Not that you mentioned it, think about it. So, and once again, I'm trying to be bipartisan, but John Cena took basically a black stereotype,
indeed,
and kind of just ran with it.
Spinners and all.
Spinners and all. And that's kind of been his gimmick, his entire career. But not even that. When he came out with Ruthless Aggression, it wasn't hip hop John Cena.
It wasn't.
It was just a regular, hyped up white boy, to be honest. And it didn't get over.
Here's the thing. It did prove that if even the hardcore, like, black stereotype, it worked, but it was put on a white person. So it was just like they said, and it wasn't John Cena's fault, but it's like they were saying that he was stealing the black culture. He was stealing somebody else's gimmick. I mean, come on now. John Cena is from Connecticut. He does not know nothing about being in the ghetto. None. He don't know nothing about that.
Well, I don't know about the mean streets of Connecticut.
Man, please. That's the whitest you can ever be. You know what I'm saying? And hey, James, shout out to you. I was not talking about you, but you already know what I'm talking about. So shut. But going back to my point, I think if you took the blackest man and then put in the same gimmick that you gave John Cena, you put it on a black man, I think it would have worked.
I mean,
well, it really depends on who it was.
I can see it, and the reason why I say I can see it, because look at Max Caster. It's blowing up for him, and it's the exact same gimmick if you think about it.
He is one of my favorite characters. Like,
you know what I'm saying? And it's blowing up. It's blowing the exact same, coming out rapping, gold chain, whole nine, and it's blowing up. So it's I can say it could definitely work. It didn't work for Tyrus because Tyrus was very comical in his delivery and belief of it. Like, that's the thing about any gimmick. You have to believe in it yourself in order for it to get over with a crowd. So if you don't believe in it yourself and you think it's bullshit, it's gonna come off to us as comical or bullshit.
Indeed.
And that's my prime example. Like look at Ricochet. Triple H booked Ricochet perfectly in NXT. He wasn't no hip hop dude. He wasn't no off the wall. He was just a really good technical wrestler.
Yes.
But when he got to the main roster, for some odd reason, they deadened that, and then they want to make him a superhero. I don't know what they tried to do with him, to be honest.
They try to make him into a DC character. They try to make him look like Nightwing. Then it was Darkwing Duck. I mean, it was just like all of these motherfucking characters. He didn't need all of these characters. That's another thing that's wrong with the WWE. They want so many fucking superheroes, but they're not looking at the wrestler themselves.
Right.
If you allow them to be themselves, you would have your Mick Folks, you would have your Kurt Angles, you would have, like, you know, say The Rock or Stone Cold. You will have those type of characters, but it's just like they have so many restraints, and that's the part I don't get. So
let me ask you this, Chris. So do you think that it's not that the black people in wrestling, or at least in WWE eyes, are unappreciated? You just think that they're not given the ability to create their own characters? Is that what we're saying here?
No. Yes and no. I still feel that black wrestlers are not appreciated at all, because it don't make sense that a wrestler, I'm not a wrestler, I'm a wrestling fan. Sorry, a wrestling fan that had to go to Ron Simmons during a Starcast and say that you are not getting the respect that you deserve at all.
Yeah, I was there for that.
You know what I'm saying? Right. And it's just like his face lit up. Like, that type of shit. Like, we supposed to give wrestlers like that their flowers, because I'm serious. You were the first African-American world champion.
And you know what though? And it's not even celebrated in WWE. That's the thing that kind of kills me. It's not even celebrated that he was.
And that is why I'm saying the unappreciated thing that I'm saying right now. Like, he is a prime example. We talk about the Flairs, but we don't talk about the Simmons. And that is the part that really pisses me off. Now, someone said something about, yeah, I did say yes. I did say Darkwing Duck.
Yeah, Jay Lethal, one of the best champions. I mean, even going into TNA, and I think that's the reason why he didn't join WWE, because he knew what they were going to do to him.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why he just went to Ring of Honor and hasn't left. And that's what I was going to go to. I think it's more so. I'm not going to say every wrestling promotion is unappreciative. I think WWE just stands out because they're the largest. And you would think, being that big of a company and being that large, you would have had more than what we can count how many champions of color that they've had on, on one hand.
Man.
I mean, literally. And then the ones that they did have, either it was a short run, it was a bullshit run. Like I think Mark Henry's title run, he should have had a lot more up under that House of Pain, because there were no other big villains like that but
Exactly. And then the crazy thing is, it only lasted for a month. It's like he had it at Night of Champions, but then he lost it at Vengeance.
It was It was that quick? Wow.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just Mark Henry really never got his flowers, because at the same time, like, he was a world champion. He was an Olympian. I mean, this man got a gold medal for being the strongest man in the Olympics, and yet still didn't get his flowers. Let me go over some of these comments. Jaquez said that it didn't work for Abraham Watson. He got fired because his Kobe rape joke on the live mic. Hugh Carmichael said the Godfather could have been WWE champion.
Yes, I think he should have been.
Easily could have been world champion.
I mean, honestly, you could have gave it even before. They could have gave it to Papa Shango.
Facts. Or
and that's what I'm saying. Like, you have so many black people that even played different characters in a career that they were good characters. Mm-hmm. I mean, like, think about it like this: did the Boogeyman even get an IC title?
No.
You got to think about that.
All he got for his troubles was putting some worms in his mouth.
You know what I'm saying?
But that's either here or there.
Yeah. Yeah. Rick Swan is another one. That's another great one. Carmichael. Rick Swan is another one.
Rick Swan.
Who killing it in Impact.
He killed it. Not only he killed it in Impact, but let's talk about 205.
Yeah.
He killed it in 205, but he was only, he was cruiserweight champion. But this goes back to what I just said about the not being appreciated. You jumped the gun immediately. Said, oh, this black man was beat up on a white woman. We got to get him fired. But then, you have Randy Orton taking out his dick, showing it to creative, and doesn't get fired. Doesn't even get punished. That's sexual harassment. I mean, like, bro, like, why are you not being, like, punished for this shit? But it just seems like in Titus O'Neil was playing with Vince McMahon on television, pulled him, and then got a 90-day suspension. Like, how does that work? And then the highlight of Titus O'Neil's career is him sliding under a ring when he fell when they were out in Saudi Arabia. That's the highlight of his career.
That's messed up.
That's fucked up. It's really fucked up.
I mean, Yeah, because you got to think about it. So, what happened with Crime Time? Either one of them, I understand that I think they did win tag team gold at some
No, they
point.
never won tag team
They never
gold
won tag,
ever,
really?
bro. They never ever, and that's another stereotype that I just don't fucking
Get
understand.
the fuck out of here! I can't
I
believe somebody
bullshit
has to
you
look that up.
not.
You
I
cannot.
bullshit you not.
Crime Time had to have
Never
won
won. Never
a
ever
tag
won. Not
team title
SmackDown or on Raw. But
because
they
JTG. I know JTG has won gold outside of WWE.
but
I know I think he's still wrestling. Like he's still really
he
good.
still
If
wrestled,
you
and
talk,
he
yeah,
really built up. Yes.
yeah. But I could have sworn when it was him and Shad that they won gold, but I could be wrong.
No, they have never won gold. They came very, 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 very close,
Hmm.
but they never won. Jaquez said something about Booker T got told to do a little dance and entertain us because that's what he was supposed to do. Hashtag never forget. Jaquez also said Slick Rick Johnson was a pimp manager. Never forget.
I mean, like I said, the stereotypes. I'm like I said, I'm trying to think. Uh, I'm trying to get just a diehard champion actually got gold that didn't fit the stereotypes.
Now this one is interesting. Shout out to No Country for Dale's Men, I believe. Shout out to him from YouTube. He says no one discusses black wrestlers when they're discussing the greats.
Right. I mean, facts. And once again, and people like to lump Samoans in with black, and that's not it. The Rock
We're not
and
doing
Roman
that.
Reigns, you can't. They are Samoan. They are
No.
part of the Anoa'i family. Like now, Rock's father was even a champion, and nobody even talks about that.
And
You know,
see
Soul
this.
Man Rocky Johnson was a champion.
See, this is where we're going to get deep with you guys. You see what I'm talking about? Don't y'all see a pattern with this? Now, some of you excuse me. Some of you, I'm about to say some of you I'm sorry.
Right.
Some of you out there will say, look at us and say, "Oh, Chris, you're being too picky. Chris, you're displaying what's that? Favoritism." I'm not doing shit. What I'm doing is me and Flint is doing this. We are taking all of the receipts from all the past eras and past companies, and we are letting you know these are the receipts. If you cannot understand, then you need to talk to WWE and you need to talk to these other companies out here and say, why are you not showing enough love to black wrestlers? Now right. You can sit here and you can celebrate them during Black History Month. But if you can sit here and you can talk about how Ric Flair is the 16-time world champion, then why don't you talk to someone? Why don't we talk about the greats like Junkyard Dog that had his own television show, but never was WWE champion? No. Why is that?
Yeah. I mean, think about it. And just like
had a television show as well. So, look, I mean, what's the similarities? I mean, the similarities are right there. One was black, one was white. So why the other white man got all of the clout versus the black man? That's all.
I mean, you know what? Stephen and both Hill Carmichael was just brought up the same dude I was about to bring up. I think Ahmed Johnson was at least an Intercontinental champion. I think Coco Beware was as well.
He wasn't.
He wasn't?
No. Unless I'm wrong.
I'm about to say Coco never won. I thought Coco won gold.
No, but he did always wear a parrot though. I mean, I guess that was his title. Now, not to be petty or anything. Virgil he might be black, but he is a definition of a house nigga that's carrying gold and he don't need to.
Yeah, Virgil. Yeah, Virgil was a valet. I'm not.
There is nothing special about Virgil at all. This just shows that slavery is still in effect at that. You know, when he took on this gimmick or whatever, and now he's still like on the WWE's like name, still saying, "Oh, I'm Virgil." And
you know what? Certified Hustler is right. I forgot about Bobo Brazil. He was the first black champion before Ron Simmons. That nobody really talks about.
Shout out to Certified.
Yeah, I forgot all about Bobo, but that's what I'm saying. It's so many that gets lost in the shuffle.
Mm-hmm.
It's so ridiculous. I mean, even if you look at look at even how they gave Kofi the title. Look how he lost it. Then wait a minute,
Bro,
Let's turn around and let's look at how Bianca Belair just lost it. It's like, dude,
Preach,
come on.
Flint. Come
What are
on.
you doing?
Come on.
What are
And
you
I'm saying
doing?
the same. I'm like, come on now. You will never ever do that shit to a Flair. You will never do that
No.
shit to a Triple H. You will never do that shit to anyone
Dude,
that is
they're not
white.
look, they're not doing that to Bailey. Bailey ain't dropping no title in 26 seconds. They're not doing that to Charlotte.
And they not doing that shit to a Becky.
And my thing is that, and look, it would be a thing if Bianca just won it at a Monday Night Raw, or even like she didn't even like cash in the Money in the Bank. Hell, they gave Nikki Ash a longer losing title defense
come
than they
on,
gave Bianca
bro.
Belair, and she won it at WrestleMania against your most dominant champion in Sasha Banks. But then she gets squashed by Becky Lynch in 26 seconds. But Nikki Trash can fucking lose in an actual match versus Charlotte in a triple threat. Like, come on, man. It killed me. It killed me to see that.
Come on.
And I'm like, what are you doing?
Come through. See, this is what we need to talk about.
And that, I think, I don't even think that that's appreciation. That's just
disrespect. That's
just disrespectful as hell. Like I know, and then the next day. So the pay-per-view was Sunday or Saturday,
right.
And then that Monday, with that next following TV episode, she comes out skipping and twirling her hair.
See that's the shit
I'm talking about, and smiling like, come on, dude.
Because Kofi Kingston was doing the same exact shit when he lost the WWE.
Right. Like, come on with the shucking and jiving. If that was Triple H, Brock Lesnar, even John Cena, they coming out pissed. Like, yeah, I lost and it's some bullshit. So why is it that when it's we can't show the anger emotion when we're supposed to? We can only do that when it's scripted or when that is the persona we have to have.
Exactly. See, this is the thing. I think this is what white shareholders look at black people. We're not allowed to be angry. We're not allowed to show emotion, just like in slavery. We're not allowed to talk about that because it makes them uncomfortable. The same could be said when they see an angry black woman or a black man on national television after they lost their championship, because they think that black people is going to create a riot, quote unquote. And we shouldn't have. I mean, I don't like to be stereotyped because first of all, I went to college. I have a career. You know what I'm saying? I've been working my ass off for the past 25 fucking years. So, like, I mean, if a white person can't be stereotyped, like sniffing coke or sniffing glue on the wall, whatever, then you shouldn't stereotype black people as, like, you know, being thieves and thugs and creating riots and shit, because not all of us is like that.
I mean, when it comes to the black champions in WWE, it's almost like they're just props. They're title. They're placeholders until the real champion gets there. Mm-hmm. And that's even when you look at Sasha, who think about it. Sasha's first few title runs, she could only hold them she never held them a whole month. She never held them from pay-per-view to pay-per-view. She always lost it within a week or two of winning.
At one point, she was 0-5.
You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, dude. So when you get to, like I said, Bobby Lashley, I think, has probably held it the longest in a long time to my memory.
He clocking at least about 260, I think. He's clocking. I would honestly say in history, Bobby Lashley.
I'm not even gonna say in history. I'm just gonna say as far as I can remember.
Okay.
He is definitely one of the longest reigning.
But honestly, and Jazz, we'll get to her in a minute. But I would just say right now in history, from what I'm thinking right now in the WWE, Bobby Lashley is one of the most dominant Black African-American WWE champions I have seen. And that's good because he's in the history books. But at the same time, you're 50 years too late. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to say that. But it's just too late. But I love to see Black love in the WWE. But I just really feel that this is like a I'm sorry type of present towards, the Black audience. That's just how I feel.
So let me ask you this, Chris. Then like we just said, Bobby Lashley is easily one of the most dominant Black champions we have. Then why would they break up the Hurt business? If you had a dominant Black champion, you had a dominant Black leader in MVP, who I don't think ever won a world title, and then you had a dominant Black tag team. And at the time, who was going to beat them? They split them up and they beat themselves. Basically, it's basically the story that you wrote.
And the crazy thing is, they did this shit 2 weeks before WrestleMania, and then they put New Day, which is a comedy act, put them in their place for WrestleMania.
And you understand
that doesn't make sense.
Understand something to me. As much as people like the New Day, I really despise them with them throwing pancakes and shit. It
does something to my spirit too.
I'm about to say it grinds my gears whenever because all three of them are very good wrestlers.
Yes, they are.
Honestly, all three of them can hold gold easily in any other promotion. So you have them out here throwing pancakes. You have them out here. First, it was the choir. Then it was the pancakes. Then it was the Booty-O's cereal.
Booty-O's. Yeah, they stopped that shit because they thought it was too gay. And please, everybody. When I say the gay statement, I'm in the gay community, so please don't even try it. Don't even try it. Don't even say you're talking about it because I'm gay. So shut the fuck up. All right, continue. Go ahead.
Now, them even getting back to the subject, even them pushing Naomi. Can you remember Naomi's title run?
No. And that is not even to be shady either. I really don't. I mean, I know she was champion because she won the title at WrestleMania in her hometown. Yeah. But then at the same time, do I remember anything after that? No, I do not.
Now, pause for a second. Just to hit up Hill Carmichael. I'm not knocking them because they made money hand over fist. By all means, they did. They had, once again, when they're in the ring, they are some of the best performers they have.
Oh, damn.
The gimmick itself just irks my soul.
Yeah.
That's what it does. You know what I'm saying? And it irks my soul because I'm tired of even it gives a bad stereotype that in order to succeed in the WWE, you have to shuck and jive. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? It gives that feeling that, think about it. Even look at ACH. As much as I think he really needed help, he had some mental issues. His thing was, oh man, he got a big smile and he always laughing and shit. The dude was a damn good technical wrestler, though.
Right.
To hell with the smiling, and he was a damn good technical wrestler. But
what you think about this comment? About certified.
You know what? I think it was done to pacify a particular crowd to say, okay, yeah, we gave it to Bobo, but we didn't keep it on him to pacify another type of crowd. And I think that's kind of what it was. So, deep down in your hearts, he champion. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But he's not, representation.
So everybody go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, so everyone, I know a lot of you guys want to come on the show. So we're going to give you that opportunity. Just give it like about 5 more minutes. We want to just get all the major points out, and then we'll bring you guys on. So, and yes, wrestlers that's out there, everyone, remember to share the podcast, like this video, comment this video, because it will do wonders for our algorithm. So, yes.
And you know what? I really wish we could get some wrestlers on here because I want to know, even in the independent scene, are they told to do something that was stereotypical and they was like,
that's a good question.
You know what I'm saying? Like, man, like I don't really feel comfortable, and have they said that and then been told, well, then you're not going to go on, or you're not going to perform, or you know what I'm saying, whatever it is. I would just like to know because, and I know that everybody, if you've ever known any wrestlers who've ever been in wrestling, you already know that creative will tell you what to do, what to say. Man, they determine your character and everything else. Nobody really has a say until after you've made it.
Right.
But it just seems like when it comes to black characters, they're just creative is always stepping on their heels, stepping on their throats, so to speak.
That's very true.
Just trying to get them to fit into a box.
That's true. Hang on, I was gonna say something. I totally forgot. Did you want to just bring the viewers on?
Yeah, that's fine.
Bring them on? Okay. All right, y'all. So if you guys want to come on, I am going to put the link up. No, I'm not gonna ask Booker T because Booker T can't give people a straight answer.
Hey, look, Booker T is he's getting paid, and Booker T is up under the notion of I'm not gonna bite the hand that feeds me. That's what I think when it comes to Booker T.
But at the same time, you're gonna allow some white men to call you a nigger, like say talk about what's up, my nigga.
I'd have got fired that day.
Man, please. On national television at that.
Yeah, I'd have got fired. Man, and I'm like, there's no way. And that's why I said something like that. You had to have ran that past him before, because if you surprise, like even if I'm at work right now and my manager surprises me with something like that, he probably gonna get knocked the fuck out.
Yeah, because you're not gonna run that past me and then thinking that we're gonna be okay with this.
Right, not at all.
No, because I think Vince, what he tried to do, he tried to reinvent that whole thing with Booker T calling Hulk Hogan a nigger. I'm gonna come for you, nigga. But it was just that was an accident, though.
Yeah, I was about to say that was just during an emotional rant, which is actually probably one of his best promos that he ever cut.
Yeah, but Vince tried to he tried to create some history himself, but the shit backfired though.
And didn't this motherfucker have a do-rag on and shit?
Yes, he did.
Oh,
come through, Flint.
I just thought about that. Oh.
Damn do-rag Vince. You just had to bring up do-rag Vince.
Right, you know what I'm saying?
But I just thought about that. Like, come on, man. You guys, what's going on, fellas?
Welcome to the show. I've just been wanting to chat with you. And Stephen, welcome, y'all.
My connection is good.
Yeah, it should. Yeah. I think you should be good. Okay. Matter of fact, let's do a test. Say something.
Yo. It's your boy Jacquez.
Okay. Good. Okay. All right. So I know you guys got a lot to say. So we're just going to see. Steffi, you came on first, so let's pick on you. So, what are your thoughts on the show so far?
Most of your points, or pretty much almost all of them, I agree with. When it comes to black wrestlers throughout the history of professional wrestling, they had to play some sort of stereotype gimmick. And you know me, I'm an old school guy when it comes to watching wrestling. I watch a lot of territory stuff. And if you notice the black wrestlers from back then, it's like they told them to speak in jive. People like Pork Chop Cash and just some of those guys.
Somebody named Pork Chop?
Yeah, there's a dude named Pork Chop Cash. He worked in Memphis. But most of the black talent back in the day, in the territory days, it's like they directed them to speak a certain way. It's like they told them speak black, or which I hate that term anyways.
Yeah.
But it's like, speaking jive, is what they would say back then. So they would cut these promos and sound angry and stuff like that, giving off this stigma that all black people is angry.
Right.
You know, and like you said, even today, it's not really too much of a difference. You know, it's like certain black talent is told to act this way, to act that way. You mentioned something about Kofi earlier. The fact that Kofi is a guy from the guy that was born in Africa but was raised in Boston, playing a Jamaican.
Jamaican, right? When he
Yeah,
first came out, yeah, playing a Jamaican
exactly.
accent.
Even
Yeah.
It can make sense.
even though it's not on a big scale, you know, it's still subtle as
Right.
far as the gimmick he played. He still played an ethnic gimmick,
Right.
you know. Um, there's a lot when it comes to professional wrestling nowadays with black wrestlers. You know, to me, most of the talent is on the indies right now. Most of them are enjoying the freedom that they have to be themselves. You know, people like AJ Gray, shout out to him. People like Trisha Dora, who's probably the baddest woman in the game right now. She's killing it on the indies right now. Probably the best unsigned talent there is right now. People like, and you already know I got to shout our guy out, Chris. Shouts out to Shane Taylor and
Shane
STP.
Taylor,
Yeah.
yes.
Shouts out to them, killing the game.
He killing it with the Shane Taylor Productions.
Yeah.
He's
Yes.
killing it over there in ROH. But
And see,
I really feel with that being said, I think he'll do wonders in AEW.
I
Honestly,
agree too.
Yeah.
And to me, Ring of Honor's mistake is by not putting the championship on him. He should have been the world
that's
champion over
true.
there.
That's
And
true.
I'm sorry for the people here who may be Roosh fans and stuff like that, but Roosh won the title. Then the pandemic happened. He was stuck in Mexico. He just got back. He dropped it to Bandito. A lot of people don't know Bandito's the Ring of Honor world champion right now. But I
Wow.
guarantee you give that title to Shane Taylor, people would know Shane Taylor's the champion. He will make it his mission and his objective to do such. He made an interesting tweet earlier about the Ring of Honor championship and why it's important to him. And he was like, most of the major people in the professional wrestling industry that's on top right now in these other promotions at one time was Ring of Honor world champion.
Yeah.
See, what I'm getting at is I want somebody like that that's gonna put in the work and be what is necessary to represent that company. Shane Taylor is that guy. But yet for some reason Ring of Honor is kind of, you know,
And once again, that's that whole thing about being unappreciated.
yes.
Like that part or whatever. Because me and Shane have had talks about this with Stevie Ray a couple of times. And the thing is, it's like no matter how hard you work, at the end of the day, your color is going to be a factor.
Right.
Because in some of these companies, and yes, and I agree, Hill, Ring of Honor and Impact is the most diversified like companies that I know, wrestling companies. AEW,
not yet. AEW, not yet. They're not that diverse. If you actually look at it, I think when it. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jaquarius.
My bad, not to cut you off. I was gonna say like Impact actually had a first black champion way before WWE got the Kofi wave started. A lot of people forget Bobby Lashley was one of them. Moose was another. You know what I'm saying? This did this shit before like WWE had that spotlight on them, like trying to highlight people. That's why I actually said it before. Like, yo, Naomi's like reign is so missed because when they brought her out, it was early during the time where they was just handing out championships to black people. Why they was handing out championships to black people? Well, that's because at the spotlight on when people were saying like there's not enough black champions. There have been a lot of like, you know, highlighted black African American champions that haven't been like, you know, comedy gimmicks. That's when we got like, you know, I forgot who got in the championship at the time, but maybe it was Apollo Crews.
yes,
Naomi got her championship.
that's a good
Kofi
example.
got his.
Yeah. And you know what, Jaquez,
champion.
not to cut you off though, but you brought up a very good point about Apollo Crews. Apollo Crews is a fucking joke, but we know in the indie scene,
Facts.
he's fucking phenomenal, dude.
Yeah.
That's how I found out about Apollo Crews because the whole like you know the whole IWC was talking about Apollo Crews before his arrival to WWE, but now it's just like what did they do with him? Like what they did with him was so disrespectful.
No. So this is the thing about it. So because I found out when they changed his name to Apollo Crews, I didn't know what he was. He was a Trinidadian wrestler in the independent scene, and he was killing it, dope. Because both of his parents are from Trinidad, I think, or something like that. And I guess after the Apollo Crews thing ran its course, I guess they allowed him to go back to that, but they just didn't expand on it. Like he is such a phenomenal performer that even when he did hold the IC title, it was always interference by that big dude that I can't even think of his fucking name right
I'm
now.
at Commander Aziz.
Yeah, Commander's like, dude, if you don't get him off my TV, but still, you know what I'm saying? Like Apollo Crews didn't need that, and so
let me give a shout out real quick. From let's see, from Twitch, Haas00312 _ Ha. Welcome to Hero Nation. Also from Twitch, JJ Builds. Welcome to Hero Nation. Thank you for joining. Go ahead.
No. So my thing that I wanted to know is, I want to ask everybody here. So when you look at recent champions runs, and I'm gonna say in the last, let's give it from 2010 to 2021, who are the great blacks in a 10-year span? Who are the great black champions?
Who?
Bobby Lashley or Moose?
You said in the last 10 years?
In the last 10 years, we're gonna give it a decade. We're gonna give it a decade. This decade.
Bobby Lashley, hands down. This man has dominated in Impact and in WWE. So, like, hands down, it's Bobby Lashley. I can even put Kofi Kingston in that because Kofi Kingston, his whole reign was trash. Like,
now are we talking all promotions?
We're gonna talk all promotions.
Yeah, all promotions.
Jay Lethal had a historic television title reign. Then he was Ring of Honor champion and television champion at the same time. Mm-hmm.
So I would say that. Oh, go ahead, Jaquez. I'm up to talk about that.
I'm saying.
You said
I'm gonna say Moose, man. People basically like sleeping on this nigga. This guy actually can go, bro. I'm giving it to Moose.
Now I remember when Moose first started. He has improved 100-fold. Because when he first got there, he was, I swear to God, he was like every single NFL player or failed NFL player that got to wrestling. He was slow. He was getting gas. He didn't have no moves. When you look at him then and look at him now he's a professional wrestler. The last few years, he has been killing the game. So I'm gonna ask you that because are the Briscoes considered black?
I don't know. I don't think they are. I don't know what they're mixed with.
You see what I'm saying?
I don't even think they're mixed, to be honest. I think they're because I seen their dad. I seen their mom. Their mom is as white can be. But they kind of got that, that speaking voice. I don't know. I don't know if they're considered black or not. They from fucking Sandy Fork, Delaware. I don't know.
Christian, I am not trying to pick on you, but
like mix.
You're right.
So Christian, I am not trying to pick on you, but I just you follow me. You know how I feel about Booker T. So we're gonna leave that one alone. I'm trying to. I really want to try to make this as positive as possible, but Booker T right now he's really on my shit.
Let me tell you why I don't care for Bobby Lashley's WWE run.
Yes, Booker T.
Number one, because much like
they got called nigga.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And this is the same person. Yeah. And this was the same person that allowed Triple H to like really just like verbally like destroy him with a racist rant.
Yeah.
Yes, like straight disrespect him. And the only thing that he could say on a podcast was like, I was getting paid for it. Huh? I'm like,
you know what?
Anyway, go ahead, Flynn.
Heel Carmichael brings up a point. I forgot about Velveteen Dream. Despite his issues right now, the Dream did have a nice North American Championship run. See, my thing about championships, when you become a champion, it's not only how long you hold it, it's who you defeated to get it and who you defeated to retain it. And that's my problem with Bobby Lashley with this title. Other than Drew McIntyre, who has he really beat?
He ain't really beat anybody, but you know what? Let's talk about that WWE Championship, though. Correct me if I'm wrong, but ain't the WWE Championship have more proceeds than the Universal Championship?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, with that being said,
Yes.
why the fuck a black man is not getting his flowers versus a motherfucker over here that talk about acknowledge me? And that's what? How you want me to acknowledge a NBC championship?
I
You know
want to
what?
add on to that. I want to add on to what Chris is saying. Let's talk about the fact that Roman Reigns low-key buried the WWE Championship. Remember that promo he cut on John Cena? He's like, John Cena, you're good. You 12 time. I mean, you 16-time WWE champion. He's like, you good enough to fight for the WWE Championship.
Right.
Like, he buried the WWE Championship.
But think about it though. Technically, that Universal title is the WCW Championship. If you really want to think about it,
right?
It's actually been held by, I'm gonna say, probably more prestigious people than the WWE.
But you know that's but that's really fucked up because the WWE Championship is the face of the company, not the Universal Championship. So it's just like the WWE Championship has prestige depending on who wears that championship. Because guess what? When Kofi Kingston had the WWE Championship, he was complete. He was a complete afterthought. Yeah. And ain't it funny that every black man that have won like a major championship, like a world championship, a WWE championship, it's like they're afterthoughts. It's like they don't really, they don't put the light on them. They talk about, oh yeah, he won it a couple of times. Even Kofi Kingston, they don't even talk about how Kofi Kingston was like world champion anymore. They'd be like, oh yeah, he's throwing pancakes and he's selling T-shirts or whatever, but they will never ever touch on how he was world champion. Maybe once or twice in the storyline, but that's about it. Man. Except for Rock, but I don't count Rock as being black though.
He's that's the thing about it. So The Rock technically is black because his father is Rocky Johnson, but when it comes to wrestling, he is Samoan. That is what he is. The moniker when he came out as Rocky Maivia. Look at it. He didn't come out as Rocky Johnson Jr. He came out as Rocky Maivia. He came out as his Samoan ancestry. You know what I'm saying? And he continued to ride that Samoan ancestry to this day. I can hardly remember how many times he actually went out there and said, man, my father is the great, soul man Rocky Johnson, but he always mentioning his grandfather though.
Right.
Exactly. And that's where that's where the IWC needs to stop being so damn they just really need to stop with this bullshit. Like you acting like, oh, yeah, he's black or whatever, but you gotta ask yourself this question. Did Rock ever acknowledge himself as being an African American? Did he ever go on WWE television and talk about, hey, I'm all about the black folks. I'm all about, you know what I'm saying? Like, putting, bringing all the black community together. It never was that with him because they know that when it comes to black, wrestling or whatever, it's a very touchy subject.
I mean, look back when he won the title the first time, in what was it, 98 at Survivor Series, and I watched every episode of Raw after that. Not one time did Vince McMahon, did the WWE, did The Rock himself even acknowledge that he made history by being technically the first black man to hold that title. No, they didn't mention it at all. That's why I don't count The Rock either. They didn't acknowledge it. If they're not going to acknowledge it, why should we have to acknowledge it
for them? Yeah.
Exactly.
It's like we grasping at straws. We getting the little bit of juice that's left, and don't even get me started on that because that'll be a whole nother rant. New Jack is blacker than the rant.
I'm like Flint. I'm here to hear the rants. I'm here to
because
this is really good information, dude.
Look, check it out.
Why are you breaking your neck like
that?
Because I'm about to get to this point. So check it out. So Ron Simmons, right? He won that title, right?
Which title?
He won. He won a world championship. Ron Simmons.
WCW.
Yeah, he won that title, right?
Mm-hmm.
They are quick to say Booker T is the 5-time champion, but don't nobody in WWE ever mention Ron Simmons. They quick to say Ric Flair 16-time world championship, but they never mention Ron Simmons as holding a title. If you look in his record for WWE, he does not. He's never held a heavyweight championship before, according to WWE. Never held it.
He
You
only
wanna know
held.
why?
Go ahead, bro.
You want to know why Booker T is basically getting that shine? Because he got called nigger on live television. That's it. If you're allowed to be called that, there will be the time. If I'm lying, I'm dying.
No, you're lying. You're not lying at all. It's just the thing is, it's like when the WWE fucks up, especially when it comes to African Americans that's being mistreated in the back. And I mean, and if we really want to talk about, let's talk about how, Michael Hayes called Mark Henry a nigger behind closed doors, but then they wanted to cover that shit up. But then when it got to the internet, all of a sudden Mark Henry was getting this opportunity, that opportunity. They're like, you don't do that. Don't do that. Give him the opportunity because you want to give him the opportunity. Don't give him the opportunity because he was called nigger behind closed doors and you want to cover that shit up.
Right. But see, now you're bringing up something. Now you're opening something real good. You said, and like you said, this is the show. This is going to be the episode where some people are going to feel a way about it, and I want to introduce this topic because I'm ready to get into the nitty gritty. When you mention people like a Mark Henry or a Booker T or, people that we would consider, Sambo type dudes, porch monkey type dudes. Do you feel like there's a certain amount of black talent that would be sellouts that would, drag the next, black person down, because you got to remember,
yes,
that's it.
That shit. You opened up a can of worms on that one, dude.
Yes.
Right. I mean, you got to ask yourself, honestly, is that the New Day? If you actually break it down to bare bones, is that the New Day? Is that? Think about it. You can look at just about everybody in that roster. Is that our truth?
I put it in
Is that, you know what I'm saying?
On that one.
Our truth.
I'm saying.
Wait. Our truth is actually a black NWA world champion title holder.
I was gonna say that.
Yeah,
that's never brought up.
He is, but in WWE, he's a damn porch monkey.
They do not acknowledge that shit unless.
Right, Jimmy. Right.
Okay, Jaquez, let's talk real quick. I'm glad you brought that up because I was just thinking about this before I came on the podcast. So, R-Truth, K-Quick, whatever you want to call him, former NWA champion. This man, didn't pull no punches when he was in TNA. The promos were fucking gold. I mean, dude, he splashed his blackness on fucking on cable networks. He didn't give a fuck. Yeah. Now all of a sudden you come to WWE.
Yeah.
Exactly. But then now you come to the WWE where it's dominated by white shareholders, and they're talking about, oh, he's too black. Let's downgrade him to let's downgrade him all the way to little Jimmy and how John Cena is his role model. Huh?
Yeah. When he was doing it way before him.
I want to answer that.
The same John Cena that he was writing disc records to.
Right.
But y'all gotta understand something. There's a difference now between 2002 Run the Truth Killings, 3 Live Crew, like Hill Carmichael pointed out.
Right.
There's a difference between that. You fast forward past 2012, where you got R-Truth and WWE. Once that money come into play, once certain motherfuckers get a taste of that motherfucking money, they'll turn on you.
Prime example. Look once again. I hate to bring him back up, but look at Ricochet. He just signed the new deal. So you decided to sign the new deal to sit in catering and not be used and chase the 24/7 title, right? Really? That's what you decided to do. Now,
catering.
Look. Now, my thing is that first one, I agree. Get your money your first time, but that second go around, you didn't got paid. Go make a name for yourself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Go do what you love to do. But
right.
Go.
And you know what, Flint? This is where we really need to let the IWC know we are not going to continue with this bullshit anymore. Because as much as you sit back and you give AEW so much flack on like, oh, well, they don't have any black wrestlers. Let's talk about the same company that you are so loyal about. Let's talk about that. Because I'm tired of some of these podcasters. What's his name? Alfred from Forbes or whatever. He made a tweet saying, and Bray Wyatt didn't like it either. And I didn't like it either. I think it was very disgusting. Let me pull it up real quick so you guys can see it. Hang on one second. Let me pull this up. Because
while you're pulling that up, I want to actually ask.
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
As regards to AEW, now I know everybody in the IWC could be fucking dickheads. They can say whatever they want, feel how they want, whatever it is. I don't give a fuck. How you gonna feel about what I'm about to say? Nyla Rose, actually, I don't know if you want to consider her black. She calls herself black, but she actually is the first black women's champion that they have. Would you consider that? Or not?
I consider it. I mean,
because
like
a lot of people.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say a lot of people try to say like they don't have any, they never had any. Oh, Nyla Rose is a man. Like all that type of like ignorant shit that they want to say. But like, are you going to discredit her rank?
No, you have to discredit. You can't. Sorry, you have to credit her being a black female champion, the first ever black female champion in AEW.
Right.
You have to.
You got to credit Scorpio Sky with being one half of the first tag team champions.
Yep. Yeah, you have to.
So with this right here, Bray Wyatt, he reacts to the dude from Forbes. He basically said in so many words that he said, I don't care how many Inclels gets Bray Wyatt's signs confiscated, as long as WWE doesn't confiscate signs like this, they're cool with me. And then Bray Wyatt looked at this tweet, was not happy with Alfred's comments, and he was just like, the rest was a beautiful part. You know what I'm saying? Support black wrestling. We all do that shit. But at the same time, like, you are going to say, and this is where the toxic attitude comes from the IWC, and including this man right here, because he has been really toxic for the last like month or so. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, talk about there's too many whiteheads that's in AEW, but then talk about black magic over here, but does not want to talk about some of the misguided decisions that WWE does when it comes to African Americans. Now let's I mean, this man never once came on his podcast, never came on Twitter and talk about how Bianca was squashed in 26 seconds, but would be the first person to talk about, oh, what about this black sign over here? No, my nigga. Just because you work for the WWE does not give you the right to skip this and talk about, oh, I don't want to talk about this, but let's talk about that. That's the type of shit I don't respect about motherfuckers like this. You are willing to talk about the good shit, talk about, oh, yes, let's talk about this sign, but then don't talk about how Bianca was treated like Kofi Kingston and got squashed in 26 seconds. That's the shit that just does not sit well with me.
I want to kind of piggyback off your statement there. You know, and hopefully I see Janelle is in the house right now. Shouts out to Janelle and John Bertier's podcast. Alfred was on their show, I think about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I checked out that podcast because I was interested to hear him double down on his comments, or the comment on, you know, the statement, that the video he made about the all elite whites. You know, I'm not sure if y'all seen that video, but
yeah, I seen it.
Yeah. So this is, and I thank you for having me on here, because this kind of gives me a little bit of a platform to kind of, you know, respond to what he says.
Right.
You cannot gauge a company that's only been around for 2 years.
Right.
You can't do that. That's unfair. That's
Yeah.
unfair. Reason why we're hard on WWE is because they've been around for damn near 60 years. But a
Right.
company that's only been around for 2 years,
50 years.
You can't immediately jump down their throat because they haven't had everybody be, black be a champion on there. That's not right. That's unfair. Let them build, you know, let them build a championship history with these titles first.
Right.
They don't even have a full on championship
You know,
history.
it's the same reason I agree with you, bro, because it's the same reason why they put the title on Jericho first. You have to do it with already known or well-known stars first, and then you bring up everybody else you can. I'm sorry, like prime example, like you were saying with Scorpio Sky, probably downright probably one of the best wrestlers they have, like actual technical wrestlers. But
Facts.
he needs work with promo. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And building his character. He really needs work. You just can't stick a title on him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Even when you look at the Acclaim, they just need a little bit more work to be further along. I guarantee you the Acclaim they're gonna hold gold. I can guarantee you they are gonna hold gold in AEW eventually.
So let me
The
go to
Acclaim is
Janela's
going to be
point
the
real.
next top heel group.
Yeah.
Let me go to Janela's point real quick. See, this is the difference between me and them. Okay, if I say something, I mean it. I don't have to go on a podcast and then say, "Oh, I'm gonna clean up what I said." What I said. What did she say? I said what I said. So, that's just me. But like I know where you're coming from, honey. I get it. But at the same time, I'm sorry, but the last like comments that I've been seeing, and I had a little run-in with him on Twitter because I said like, okay, well, I mean, you mean well about supporting wrestling, and I do too. I've been doing that shit for the past 25 years. So I mean, my resume speaks for itself. But at the same time, you can't sit back and say that, oh, this is not what I meant to say, but then we'll go on Twitter again and then talk about, oh, well, fuck Bray Wyatt. Let's talk about black wrestling. Can't really. I'm sorry. You can't bootlick the WWE and then go on a podcast and say that's not what I meant. What? But I would love to get him on the podcast. I would love to talk to him.
I mean,
but
yeah,
this is what he displayed to me.
I agree with you, Chris. Like, why even bring Bray Wyatt or the WWE into it? He could have just said, "Man, that sign back there was dope. Support the." You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's what's up. It didn't have to bring in Bray Wyatt. I wonder if he would have said it if it was John Cena signs in there.
And that's the thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can't be choosy with your battles. This is, if you're going to support black wrestling, then do the groundwork. Somebody also. Oh, and shout out to D Star from YouTube. You need to put down the groundwork. Someone also said something about is there any black owned wrestling companies? Yeah, there's Hog. That's in New York. Shout out to Janelle. I will be. Oh yeah, and blame him. Yet the same motherfucker that blocked me on. Yeah. We're gonna probably take. He's trying to get me to come to New York for business or whatever. But we're gonna talk about that though. But there are black companies that's out there. Hog. I'm not too sure if there's any other ones. Huh? Go ahead.
I'm trying to remember his name. Excuse me if I get it wrong. No, I got his name. Billy Dixon. You know what I'm saying? This black dude. I think he's from New York as well. He has he does like this Spike Lee theme type wrestling promotion type deal out in New York. You have, I think, Hood Slam out in Cali, if I'm not mistaken. There's some black owned companies. There's some black owned indies that, if I'm not, and Janelle, correct me if I'm wrong. Ain't Battle Club Pro, ain't that black owned as well? There are some black companies out there, and for people, this takes me at a time to not only support black wrestlers, support black indie wrestlers, support just black wrestlers, period. Support them, support all of them, support everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have proven in all facets of life that the black dollar is powerful, and we just got to start investing in our own. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you're thinking about buying, the same people on here that's thinking about buying a Roman Reigns T-shirt, fuck that. Go to Pro Wrestling Tees, buy a Shane Taylor Promotions jersey. You know what I'm saying? Support the black folks, man. Support your skin folk. That's all I gotta say about that, man.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, y'all, it's like the IWC has a lot of power, more power than we need to have. But at the end of the day, we're going to talk about how much we like our black wrestlers or black, brothers and sisters, whatever. We also need to, put down the groundwork as well. If we really want to support them, we need to honor them. And I need to take my own advice because I love Shane Taylor. I'm mad at him because he still haven't got back with me, but he liked my tweet on Twitter. But Shane, like I said, he's doing the groundwork. Jay Lethal, he's also been doing the groundwork for the past 10 years, 15 years, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Jay Lethal been in the game for a minute.
So that's why I say we all, this is a group effort. This is not just, go ahead, Jaquez. Is he here?
No, I was saying about Jay Lethal fast because ever since he got Black Machismo gimmick in Impact, sorry, in TNA.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now let me ask you guys this.
With Ric Flair.
Yes, that promo with Ric Flair, gold.
Yeah, the woo off.
Yes, dude, that was the most hilarious. Like, dude, I still watch that shit to this day.
Dude, but I mean, he was still doing great work in ROH, man. Even after that, he was doing great work in ROH. So it's a couple of them. I think that I think that I need to start doing too, which is like you guys said, a lot of these black wrestlers that we know and love, start buying their merch, man. Skip over the, you know what I'm saying, man, the one Roman Reigns shirt that you was about to buy and support, you know what I'm saying, man, just another wrestler, because they look at that too. Whether you're gonna get a push by how much merchandise and shit you selling too. You best believe that.
Yes.
So
and like I said, when we talk about African Americans, when we talk about wrestling,
what about Bray Wyatt?
What you say?
Who?
I don't know if they really look at the sales because Bray Wyatt was actually top seller for a while.
No, but that was he was, but that's just WWE being WWE. We just ain't talking about WWE. Right. We're just talking about it, just period. That was WWE just being some dicks. You know what I'm saying? When you're the number one merchandise, the thing is that, not to get off the subject, but what got Bray Wyatt fired from him is because he didn't want to give up full creative control over his character, bro. Something that he created that hard, they didn't care. You know what I'm saying? They didn't care that he was selling T-shirts. They figured like, okay, those million T-shirts you sold, we'll get somebody else to sell them.
Janelle, what do you mean that you will not shade our beloved Jay Lethal? Just be careful with the intentions. I'm not saying Jay Lethal, I'm giving his flowers, but I have heard that he is a little bit.
Too.
Honey, I'm aware about Jay Lethal's activities in the back.
Yeah.
We are here because we want black wrestling to be acknowledged.
And
you acknowledge Roman Reigns, then why don't you acknowledge black wrestling? That's why we here. But no, I'm very aware about.
Oh yeah. He ain't Jesus over here. We understand. we understand that we're just talking about his in-ring and character ability is good.
That's a bar right there, Janelle. That's a bar right there for real.
Yes, it is. Yeah, but she is a mess, I swear. Oh, and happy birthday to you as well.
Yeah, happy birthday, Janelle. Woo!
Janelle, happy birthday. Yeah. Bitch, how old are you? You 20.
Right? Can you buy a drink yet?
I love her. Me and her interactions when she was here in Milwaukee. That I love her. That is my new sis. She's, oh my gosh, she's so awesome. She said she she gonna talk about she 21 again. I mean, the way you was partying, I could tell that you 21 again. But yeah, like the whole thing of why we're doing this. I know a lot of podcasters, and you know what I'm saying, shout out to the Jobber Tears because they always promote Black wrestling. Like I love them, I love their work. But the thing is, it's like it's not just Jobber Tears. It's also #Heels for Life and all the other podcasters that want to, you know, just acknowledge Black wrestlers.
Right.
They do the groundwork just like Hispanics, luchador wrestling and this the white wrestling that's out here that been dominating the sport. I mean, this is a white sport. We get it. But at the end of the day, wrestling is for everybody, not just one group. And that's what we want to get out there. This is not about a charity case. This is all about respect and equal opportunity. You know what I'm saying?
Look,
so
if one thing I can say is this. Most of us Black wrestling fans don't want to see a stereotypical Black fucking wrestler. Right. You're doing that for the white wrestling fan. And that is what kills me. Mm-hmm. You know, like, man, if anybody gets anything out of this whole conversation, it's don't be stereotypical.
Yes.
Just don't.
And see, this is why podcasts like this, podcasts like Jobber Tears podcast are very important. Y'all have a duty to uphold as well, as far as the wrestlers do. Because of y'all, there's probably listeners right now, just by us mentioning, names that they heard of and some names that they might not have heard of, would take, go back and research some of these Black talents. And not only that, but also you're giving them something to think about when it comes to Black wrestling as a whole. And, I just want to give, your flowers, Chris and Flint. I've been watching y'all for years. We're giving y'all flowers. I want to give flowers to, Mr. Black, Sir Wilkins, and Janelle over there at Jobber Tears podcast because of y'all. Y'all make sure that y'all do y'all part to make sure that Black wrestlers is a force in this industry. And, I appreciate
because they are
as well.
Yeah,
for real.
They are. At the end of the day, like, I love Bobby Lashley, not to cut you off, but I love Bobby Lashley, dude. And not on, you know what? I'm not gonna get into the sexual innuendos. I'm not gonna even get into that right now. I'm just gonna say that I love Bobby Lashley. I love his work. I love what they have done for him. Like it's been a long time.
Not to cut you off, but let me tell you something. It's not what they've done for him. It's what MVP did for him. Because before MVP, he was stuck with a white chick, getting married, having an affair on TV. But it took MVP to take him and be like, dude, that's not what the fuck Bobby Lashley should be doing. This is beneath him.
That is
so. Think about it. Technically, Bobby would have still been shucking and jabbing with Lana somewhere. Off and God knows where if it wasn't for MVP.
And you know what? And that's a really good point because I wasn't intentionally trying to, not trying to talk about MVP because MVP has played a very vital role in Bobby Lashley's development and him being a dominant, Black champion. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm here for it. MVP, matter of fact, he need to get his flowers too because ever since he came to the WWE, this man has been just killing it, dude. Like he is like up there as one of the greatest like managers.
Look, people don't realize either MVP is the reason for Mark Henry's House of Pain. Because remember he was with MVP, and that's when he got mad. That's when he started getting into that House of Pain gimmick, and that's when he got into all of that. It was MVP who started. That's why I'm like, dude, people don't understand MVP's mindset is very, very good when it comes to wrestling.
That's true.
His mindset is really fucking good.
But here's the thing. Wait. I want to bring something up. Here's my problem with WWE, okay? For everybody that watches Impact, and I hope everybody watches Impact or was watching Impact, they basically do a lot of fucking copy-paste shit, and I call them out all the time in the fucking IWC. Well, I'm in these Facebook groups, Twitter, I don't give a fuck. I have no holds barred with my tongue. You don't like it, fuck you. I don't care. Respectfully. Here's my problem. the same fucking angle that you have with MVP. He did the same thing in Impact, but had a way broader fucking dialect on what he was saying. He actually brought in a lot of real shit. When they was going through the whole times when they had the riots going on, and he was sitting up there talking about how you call us thugs, and he didn't know that actually means the new nigga. He said that live on
TV. He said it on TV. They did it.
But you know damn well WWE is never going to allow that much controversy. Ever.
Bro. I forgot about that.
Never allow that much controversy, bro.
About that.
Bro, the thing about it is, Jaquiz, he ain't got to cuss. He didn't have to say nigga. You could take that out, and WWE wouldn't have still never let that fly.
But you know what? But at the end of the day, like I said, you can't pick your battles and then say that I'm not going to do this today, but then I'll do it like, in 2 years or whatever, just to increase the ratings. You can't do that shit. You can't use our blackness as a form of I'll hang it up in the closet and then pull it back later. That just can't do that, dude. But yes, that MVP shit. MVP Chris is at his best when the chains are not on. Dude, use that shit in AEW. I'm telling you, if that version was in AEW, trying to tell you.
But that's the thing about it. Like we were talking about earlier.
Gold.
Yeah, the best part about wrestling is when it's believable. When it's something that when the wrestler himself feels it, then everybody else does. You know what I'm saying? Period. And that speech that the MVP put in there, when he put that in there, he felt that, and you could feel it when he was saying it. You could feel it, and that's what it was.
And like I said, in wrestling, we want, like what Flint said, we want to feel that passion. We want to feel what the wrestler is feeling. That's why we're all here. I speak for everybody here. I think that's why we love wrestling, because we want to feel the character. We don't want to feel the script. We want to feel what you thinking about. Like, how do you feel? How do you feel about the riots? And how do you feel about being disrespected after you losing the championship?
I got you.
Go ahead.
I got you. Not to cut you off, but I got you. Wonder how they respond with it. Didn't we get the whole what was that retribution? They were supposed to, instead of basically being up the whole riots or whatever, around the same time we got the Hurt Business, and how the so-called made it like, oh, we're gonna do it as FIFA versus so-called Black Lives Matter, but then we got the whole fuck Hurt Business that didn't give a fuck about Black Lives Matter. It was just the Black Champion shits. That was it.
Yeah. I didn't even think about it like that. Yeah, because Retribution was terrible. It was trash.
Yeah,
you took a gang of talented individuals and just flushed all of their careers down the toilet for no reason.
Bro, that was atrocious.
Oh, that was Antifa. So they made a whole joke about the whole. That's how they did it.
And you know what, Jaquez? That is the thing. That is a very, very good point, because you know what? I didn't think of it that way. Like, Retribution was basically a mockery of Black Lives Matter. That's basically what it was. And this is why I say that black wrestling is unappreciated, especially in the WWE. Like, what I'm saying, they give them flowers, but then they do it for a reason. It's not to be genuine. It's just to say, like, okay, I need you to stop talking about this, so I'm gonna put it on here, but then I'm gonna give it to Brock Lesnar 6 months down the road, like they did with Kofi. They got tired of us talking about African Americans that's not getting their flowers in the WWE. So shut up, Juice. Let's do Kofi Kingston. Let's push him. Let's give him the Daniel Bryan treatment when he was on his way on getting the title at WrestleMania 30. That storyline, giving it to a black man now. But then let's take it off of him 6 months later and take it off of him in 9 minutes, 9 seconds.
And do y'all remember the buzz and the hype around that when Kofi won that title? The buzz and it was so, and that's why I don't know why they killed that momentum. It was so huge.
That's what I'm talking about, bro.
Because Kofi symbolizes what at that time, like before he lost it and everything, when Kofi Mania happened, he symbolized what we as wrestling fans and what black wrestlers as wrestlers want. We're not, like you said at the beginning of the podcast, we're not asking for no handout. We don't want no damn handout. We just want a fair opportunity. Let us do the work. Let us do it our way. And hey, if we fail, we fail. But if we succeed, just let us fly. Just let us fly. Just let us be us. That's all we ask for, you know? That's and people was able to get behind that because Kofi put in the work. Everybody understood. He'd been there 11 years. He put in the work and everything. That's all we want.
A decade.
Janelle said that Kofi got into that position because of one person.
But like Kofi won the title before, but his reign was so like forgettable. It's crazy.
Wait, I'm sorry. Say that one more time, Jaquez.
I said Kofi won the title before, a long time ago. But that's when he was feuding with Randy Orton.
No, Randy Orton had the IC. He wasn't heavyweight champion at the time. Because that was the whole thing that we were talking about, Chris. About remember when he had the NASCAR that Kofi destroyed. That was that same. But I don't think he had the world title. It might have been like IC title at the time.
Wait. But was that around the same time? Because they basically feuded twice. Because at one point there was a storyline with them being friends, and then they was feuding for the title. And I remember because what's his face? They actually did this spot twice. They did the spot twice where Kofi basically did the boom drop off of the rafters into him where he was on the table, through a table.
Yeah, but
that was when it was in New York, right?
That was one in New York, and they did it back in like I think 2008, maybe 2008.
Because I could have sworn this was Kofi's first heavyweight title championship.
Yeah,
they made a big deal about it.
No. Yeah. I think it was his. I think it was, but like maybe his first time. Like
that's what I said. I thought it was a mid card. I thought it was like an intercontinental or something like that. Yeah, I thought it was a mid card title.
Yeah, because Kofi, this was his first title reign, like WWE championship reign.
Yeah,
and even going back to that, like you know what I'm saying, like you know Janelle's point, like Kofi never had a title until WrestleMania. Any other singles title was a mid card title. Yeah, and the thing about it is that you know if they want us to get our foot off of their neck, then you need to really appreciate black wrestlers. If you appreciate your Flairs, your Ortons, your Rocks, or whatever, you know what I'm saying, the prestige names, then you need to give people like, you know what I'm saying, Apollo Crews, or you know what I'm saying, like, you know, any wrestler that's we know is good. They're fly. I mean, it's just keep them relevant. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
Especially Chris, just to agree with you, especially if you're gonna give the fucking Miz the title multiple times.
Come on,
you mean to tell me that you can't give you know what I'm saying? Big E or anybody else a damn title once or twice like that.
I mean, my nigga, you gave Miz the fucking title for 5 motherfucking minutes. 5 minutes.
But that's like his third or fourth reign. Like he's held the title multiple times.
That was his second.
Okay, that was his
second championship.
That was his second.
Did Ellsworth win the title?
Who?
No, hell no.
Nah.
No.
He had got a title shot.
Yeah,
got a title shot against AJ.
Please.
But he
title shot before. Okay. Not even gonna go there.
Bro, if Ellsworth got a motherfucking WWE championship, dude, I would slap the fuck out the WWE fucking executives.
So let me ask the group this. What do you think they're gonna do?
For a lot of people, but
let me ask you, what do you think they're gonna do with Big E and this Money in the Bank briefcase? You think that he's gonna cash it in and actually win? And then who do you think he's gonna cash it in at?
I want to ask. Y'all go ahead.
I think he's gonna cash it in. It has to be against Bobby Lashley.
And do you think he's gonna beat Bobby?
It has to be against Bobby Lashley due to the.
I honestly, it won't have much.
Because remember, it'll be basically revenge on.
True, but then at the same time, right now, Bobby Lashley not really doing anything. He's fighting Oldberg. I mean, that's why I said that's the unappreciation that I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're the WWE champion, and yet you're fighting a fucking 64-year-old. Like, the fuck? I think it would be more. I'm sorry for being shady, but whatever. The thing about it is that he will have more respect. I think it'll open up the eyes if he cast it on Roman Reigns, because right now Roman Reigns is the most dominating champion right now that the WWE has. So I will go after the bigger dog versus the dog that's not being put out there.
Chris took exactly everything I was gonna say. Like,
I think
the downside to it is oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to step on you.
No,
go ahead.
I was gonna say that it's probably more likely gonna be Bobby, but like Chris said, it's gonna be more impactful if it's Roman. That's what's gonna make Big E into a true main event player. But we gotta point out something here. The win, yes, that'll be big, but it's all in the follow-up. The win doesn't mean shit if the follow-up ain't shit. Like you said, we see what happened with Kofi Mania. We see what happened with Bianca Belair. It's all in the follow-up. That's what matters at the end of the day. You win the title, now what? Do you got credible opponents lined up? Are these matches going to be bangers? You know, if you lose the title, is it going to be impactful because losing the title, in my opinion, has to be as impactful as in winning it.
Correct. Exactly.
That's why I would love him to cash it in on Roman, because I think it would give him more credibility. But I also don't think that the WWE will let them have two black champions hold two different titles, two major titles at the same time.
But you know what though? But you know what? The thing about it is there has not been a black champion that has won a Universal Championship. That also needs history. So that's what I'm saying. Not only you beat the biggest dog in the fucking yard, but then also you're making history 2 times.
Right.
So what avenue would you want to go? Would you
want to go to
the avenue where they already made history already with the WWE Championship? Or would you want to make even more history by being the biggest, the best in the game right now?
They would rather not have a black man be the face of their company, because right now black man isn't. Roman Reigns is. He's the face of WWE. Now, if you put Bobby Lashley over on him, who's going to be the face of WWE? You got to think about that. So,
that's what I'm saying. Oh,
you have a draft.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. You broke up.
What is their next pay-per-view?
The next pay-per-view is Extreme Rules.
Yeah.
When this month?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this month.
I don't even know. Yeah.
I don't know either, bro.
This is why I bring that up. Here's the thing. The reason why I bring that up is because don't forget they've been advertising a new draft.
Yeah, in October. The draft is in October.
Mm-hmm.
It's the first week of October.
So
why?
What happened?
I'm sorry. Repeat that. You're breaking up.
Because where can he end up?
Well, Big E, it doesn't matter. He has the briefcase. He can go either way. Wherever he want to go to cash in. That's what the briefcase does. You can cash it in or whatever.
That is what I'm saying. So you get a whole new slew of it's now. If he does become whichever brand he goes to.
Janelle, wasn't that during Black History Month though?
No, that was not. Shut up. That was not Black History Month. You really need to stop. That was not during no motherfucking Black History Month.
Facts, though, they did.
That was the handout era.
The handout era. Yeah. That was the handout era. Yeah.
Oh, not the handout era. That's
the handout era.
Facts.
Hey, look, and you know what, Janelle? Every month supposed to be Black History Month.
Yeah.
Because it seems like every month is a Flair month. So I mean, we should at least give us our flowers at least. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, the IWC doesn't even talk about that shit either.
Oh, wait. Let me add on to that. Not to cut you off. Let me add on to that. Especially if you want to do a Black History Month for February, show us more than 4 of the same fucking champions that you keep repeating every year.
Please. That's all they got.
Please.
That's all they got.
You show it.
Who else they supposed to show?
That is facts.
So who else they supposed to show? They don't have anymore. That's all they got.
Bro, they've been fired though, bro. They've been
Look, wait. 50 years. What we say? 50, 60 years, and they got 4. That's what you got.
I wanna ask y'all this question real quick. In NXT they got Isaiah Swerve Scott, all of those people in Hit Row. They got probably various other black talents on the roster as well. Do you feel like? I mean, of course, NXT talent's already DOA on arrival when it comes to the main roster, but do you feel like them being black kind of adds to their chances of not likely succeeding in WWE? Because I mean, you have a main event talent, in my opinion, in Isaiah Swerve Scott, or could be if given the opportunity.
I want to go first real quick because I want to
Go
ask you
ahead,
this.
Frank.
We all know that there are several people from NXT that have made it, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Name me one black one other than Sasha Banks.
Can't name them.
Say what?
They don't exist.
Because I'm just saying, I think that'll answer your question. Other than Sasha Banks, and look how hard they had. Man, she had to endure. But other than her, now,
I would have said Bianca Belair, but like I said, the
but
way that she lost that,
she just got squashed. I would have
Yeah,
too.
she got squashed, so I wouldn't even count her.
So I don't think
Wait.
so. To be honest,
I think I
don't
already
think they
named
would.
like how champions.
Wait,
Say what again,
I
Jaquan?
mean for the women.
You breaking up,
I
bro?
already said like how many. Can you guys hear me?
You are breaking up bad. Are you going through a tunnel?
No, I'm outside, but I know it's like a lot of like interference going on out here.
What's it? Say it again.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, good. I was gonna say like I had basically said like the actual amount of black women champions that the WWE had is less than 10, less than probably 8.
Oh, they haven't even made it to 5. They haven't even made it to 5.
No,
I can tell you.
Wait, we got it. Look, I got one now. Jacqueline,
mm-hmm,
Jazz,
mm-hmm.
Naomi, Alicia Fox, Bianca.
Wait, was Alicia Fox champion?
No. She was Diva champion. That does not count.
Alicia Fox was Diva champion.
That does not count.
You got to count it because you count Trish Stratus and she was Diva champion, so you got to count it.
Trish Stratus wasn't Diva champion. No, she never got
she
Diva.
was.
She was
The title,
women
the title didn't exist when she retired.
Okay.
Yeah, the title didn't exist when she retired.
Okay. But we're gonna keep. Oh, well, if y'all want to count it, okay, fine.
Hey, man, like remember what we said? We get the scraps. We take what we can get. That's WWE gonna say it. You take what you can get.
See, that's fucked up. But Jaquez, you have
No,
a
because
question
listen,
about Janelle.
in some of her promos, she actually.
Jaquez, you got a question down below. Janelle is asking, "Where are you
I'm
from?"
from New York.
Yeah, it's a small world.
So that's why she asked. Okay, that's why she asked. See, look at that. Look here, networking like a motherfucker. Ain't that about a bit? Look,
I want to go on a rant real quick. Janelle and Jaquez and everybody else from New York, why y'all be so fucking aggressive like that?
I love aggression, though. I love aggression because you know what, JD from New York is like one of the hottest like podcasters on in the IWC. Oh my god, like it is night and day with him. Like I see him on his podcast, but in person, super cool. Like super cool. That's until he get that alcohol in his system because this is I'm telling you.
I bet you him and Jesse was turning. turning up like
no. They really weren't. They were like really cordial.
Chill.
They were really cordial, dude, with us. Like we were like I'm telling you, like we had podcasters there. We had wrestling fans that was there. Like we were dude, we were straight kicking it, dude. So I had so much fun that night. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna even lie to you guys. I had so much fun. We got let's see, Zach. Welcome. He's from Twitter or Twitch. I think this is the same one. Yeah. So welcome, Zach. So Corey said, "I'm sorry for being late." No, you good. Janelle said that the young man below Chris, aggressive. I had a feeling he was from where I'm from, of how he talked. So I'm assuming you from Queens, right? You from Queens?
Nah, I'm from Long Island.
Oh, okay, close.
Yeah, I'm actually, believe it or not, wait. Believe it or not, I'm like maybe 30 minutes from where MJF was at.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
snap! Oh yeah, I forgot
Okay.
MJF is from.
Okay.
Yeah, I forgot he's from LI.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
The hill runs deep. The hill.
All right, all the major hills are like from New York. That's funny to me. But yeah, everyone, it's 10:02 Central Time, 11:02 Eastern Time. So what we're gonna do is, this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna have a part 2, but this will be the wrestler version. So then, because a lot of the wrestlers wanted to come on here, they wanted to talk tonight, but they didn't, because they're traveling, they wasn't able to get the opportunity. And I think the part 2 should really concentrate on the black wrestlers that's in the business. So that's what I'll do. I'll just organize that part. But this right here was great. This was a really good podcast. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go around the room for final thoughts.
I'm glad you have me.
Oh yes, you guys were awesome,
Yeah,
dude. Even in the comments, y'all were
always love
lit.
being on here.
Oh, Mr. Duke. Oh yes, this is one of the dudes me and Flint met in Chicago, whatever, for All Out, whatever. He's a really good dude. Matter of fact, Mr. Duke, what is your podcast? Just put it on so we can follow you. Yes, and then this girl talk about girl. I did put the link out. I did put the link. You were just too slow. That's your problem. But yeah, yes. Give me the links. Because I do want the wrestlers to come on here,
especially Billy Dixon. Please get Billy Dixon on here, man.
Yes, give me his information so I can. So Desmond, he said that his podcast is Platform Gamer Podcast. And as a matter of fact, Desmond, I will get with you because we need to do a collaboration like I stated when we was at the bar 2 weeks ago, whatever. We'll get together. We'll talk about that. But yes, any black wrestlers that you guys can dig up, let me know. Forward it to me so I can talk to them or whatever and get them on the podcast for part 2. Now, part 2, I'm not too sure when we'll have it, but I'll let you guys know. Flint, what is your final thoughts?
Man, my final thought is going to be the same as the first one I had. Just stop with the stereotypes. I mean, I understand that getting in this business is extremely difficult. It really is. But at some point, you got to hold on to your principles. You know what I'm saying? If you want to be, at least if you want to push the culture further than what it is, just don't let them tell you to go out here and shuck and jive. If you put in the work and you know that you're a phenomenal wrestler, then that's all you need to do.
Oh wow, Desmond said that he was a pro wrestler for about 10 years.
Yeah.
Oh, so we're gonna have to get your black ass on here. I didn't even know you was a pro wrestler.
I didn't
even know you was. You didn't
right.
mention that at the get
Right.
together, brother. You didn't mention that shit. But I'm like, you are a little bit, yeah. Okay,
Yo.
all right, okay, that's fine. Go ahead, Jaquez. You. Oh, wait, Flint. You wasn't done, was you?
Yeah, no, I'm done. That's
Okay.
it. Just no more stereotypes. We
No.
good.
I do have a friend that I have him on my Facebook. I'm gonna send him to you. His name is PB Smooth. He actually wrestles as well.
Oh snap! I know
Very
PB.
talented.
Oh snap! Mr. Fresh
Really?
to death. Woo!
See, and I'm sitting up here. I'm like, who? Oh,
I know. I seen PB Smooth's work. You know PB Smooth? Oh snap!
I
Yeah, I've
probably
seen his
do.
work. I've seen his work too. I've seen a few matches.
I probably
Yeah.
do, but I'm just bad with names, but I'm great with faces. But yeah, Jaquez, go ahead, bro.
My final thoughts is gonna be like everything I said. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, my final thoughts is gonna pretty much be like how I've been saying. As regards to the WWE, let's stop panhandling us black fans because it's
Mm-hmm.
really getting like, very transparent on the bullshit. You can't sit there and basically give us this whole like handout era. Okay. I don't give a fuck how you may feel like, oh, well, hey, well, at least it happened. Yeah, well, it happened, but just because it happened doesn't mean that's great. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
McDonald's
Right.
happened, and it actually fast food, but that doesn't mean it's good for our health. So I don't want to basically hear the
Like that
bullshit
analogy.
anymore.
Yeah.
I don't want
Yeah.
that, oh, well, you have this and that from our own community of people that's in the industry, basically shucking and
Right.
jiving, giving excuses for the bullshit. It's time to stop.
Man.
It's really time to stop. You basically need to basically call it out how you need to call it out. Don't basically try to basically switch it off to, oh, well, let's talk about AEW. Da, da, da. I don't want to hear that. When you have a business that's been as long around since fucking civil rights was going on. You have businesses been around since the civil rights movement was going on, and yet they're still doing the same bullshit. You had people like, what? We can name great wrestlers like Junkyard Dog, The Rock's father, and Papa Shango, all those, but what have they really accomplished other than just being a name?
Right.
There's plenty of
Yeah.
names. We all know different wrestlers' names. What have they really accomplished in that business that you guys don't seem to understand that us as fans like these people? There should be no reason actually, why they shouldn't have any type of access to championships. I mean,
Right.
even basically mid-card titles. I'll even accept a
Yeah.
mid-card title at this point. But the way that you guys treat your mid-card titles is a joke. I thought the Intercontinental Championship was supposed to be some high prestige, back in the day, and now it's basically used as a comedy prop.
Mm.
A bit,
Mm.
you know what I'm saying? So when you
Mm.
basically give it to people like Apollo Crews, it's a joke. You give it to people like Big E, it's a joke. You know what I'm saying? You had people like the Hurt Business. We had Shelton Benjamin, who is a former NCAA champ. Let's not even fucking go there. You had someone
Right.
phenomenal,
Oh,
who's phenomenal in the fucking ring. Okay,
it's
and yet
it's
still
funny that you
break them.
mentioned it. It's funny that you mentioned Shelton Benjamin, because Shelton Benjamin went on Twitter a couple days ago and said that he was one of the greatest wrestlers to do it in the ring, and yet no one.
Right.
Yeah.
It can still go at 45.
Facts.
At
Yeah.
45.
45. Yeah.
45.
I mean, think about it. Other than Kurt
Facts.
Angle, other than Kurt Angle and Brock Lesnar, who else has the actual real accolades more than Shelton Benjamin does? Real
Not a
wrestling
lot. No,
accolades.
not a lot of people.
Hey, when he took down Bobby
No one.
for one of those
No one.
post hurt business segments, when he took Bobby Lashley down, people forget the dude's a legit shooter.
Yeah.
He showed him like, hey, I could take you down, you know what I'm saying? Even though it was just like a little minor second, but that lets
Right.
you kind of gives you an idea of how underrated, how great Shelton Benjamin is. And people forget this guy's as legit can get. And being 45 and being
Yeah.
45
Being
and being in
45.
great physical condition, this motherfucker don't be winded in his matches. He ready to go up against any and everybody if given opportunity, but they just for some reason they failed him again. I kind of wanted to use my final thoughts really to kind of shout out a lot of indie names, indie black names. I feel like I would, and when I say these names, the people that's watching the show, I really want y'all to do your research and go, even if it's just looking at quick YouTube clips, just by supporting them any way you can.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? These men and women out here, would not only appreciate your support, but they need it, especially if we're wanting to make black people in the professional wrestling world a force, or continue to make it a bigger force than what it is now.
Mm-hmm.
Especially the indie scene. The indie scene is black as fuck right now, man. So I want to shout out to this tag team called Grit Guys Remember in Time. Montana Black and TJ Boss. I want to give a shout out to PB Smooth. Shout out to Darius Lockhart, one of the most underrated wrestlers in the world. Shouts out to Lee Moriarty, who just got signed by AEW. They realized how great of a talent he was. Been busting his ass for a few years. Like I mentioned earlier, Trisha Dora, to me, and I'm not even gonna flinch on this. The best female wrestler in the world. She was ranked number 44, which is the highest ranking that any independent wrestler has gotten on the PWI top 500
Top
list.
500.
So
Yeah.
shouts out to that sister there. Jonathan Gresham, one of the best technical wrestlers in the world. Got to give a shout out to him. There's so many talents that I want y'all to take your time
And he's
and
to fuck that nigga.
I would just, but I just want y'all to just take y'all time to just research. Even if you just fucking Google searching black wrestlers, I'm pretty sure a whole bunch of these names will pop up for you. You know what I'm saying? Just do your time. Just take your time to research these names. Support them any way that you can. I watch wrestling day in and day out, and I watch the indies day in and day out because I want to know who's coming up in the game that look just like me. Representation is key. Representation is important. You know, I'm more into watching wrestling and seeing somebody that look like me. Like that's what's gonna capture me not only as a viewer but as a long-term supporter. Is if I see somebody that look like me, that represents me, that can relate to me. That's important. Representation is always going to be important.
Yes.
But my final words I want to say is, man, to all my brothers and sisters in here, man, continue to be black, continue to be beautiful, continue to be you. Also wanted to shout out O'Shea Edwards and Billy Dixon, who's not only black but also represent the LGBTQ community as well. Shout out to both of them because that representation matters too. But I just want to say, like I said, continue to be black, be beautiful, be you. That's all I gotta say.
Shit, damn, Jaquez, Stephen, Flint, you guys took the words out of my mouth. I've been doing this for like almost 10 years, being on the podcast, and trying to get the black wrestlers names out there and try to use my platform to say, hey, you need to acknowledge the black wrestlers, because what I'm saying, there's so much talent that's out here that we don't acknowledge. And I think it's up to us as podcasters just to step our game up and just say, hey, they're out here. If you don't want to talk about it, we're gonna throw it in your fucking face. And it's not just to say that they need, that they need handouts, like what Stephen said. It's not about handouts at the end of the day. It's all about that I can do this better than you can. Right. Because I feel that that's what black wrestlers does. They they say, hey, they talk about the white counterparts. Well, we can up our game. We can do a lot more better. And we have been doing this shit for the end of time since wrestling has been out here. It's just now we need to kick it in full gear. The Jobber Tier podcast, #Heels for Life, and all the other black, shout out to all the black wrestling podcasters that's out here that's doing the same thing that we're doing right now. And I appreciate you guys, and I'm handing your flowers out as well. And the IWC, stop with the fucking, trash rhetoric that y'all like to do on a daily basis. Because if you can sit here and you can talk about Ric Flair all day, then you can sit here, you can talk about Junkyard Dog as well. And if you don't know who Junkyard Dog is, then Google is your best friend. So that's all I really have to say, gentlemen. It has been a pleasure. Thank you guys so much for coming on here. This was a very powerful podcast, and thank you. And the viewers out here that's watching, as far as another show, stay tuned.
Yeah.
We might do another show next week.
Last thing, Chris, I just want to tell everybody, man, like Stephen just said, do me a favor. I want everybody just to go out there, Google black wrestling, find at least one black wrestler independent to support, because it's very important. Like you said, do that, and I think y'all will be great. Chris, once again, bro, thank you again. It's always a pleasure. Without you, we wouldn't even be here right now.
Yes.
That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for. So everyone, this is #Heels for Life. I am your host, Mr. Team Bring It. You guys have a wonderful night and be well.
Deuces.
You.